More recently, we've seen that the supply chain interruptions occurring around the world have triggered an even more pressing need to speed up this development of technologies like AI.
What we didn't foresee is that when complete regions finally shut down, as they did in China in January 2020, we were able to shift all of the production to Europe and to other regions in the world within a couple of hours. And that was really exciting, and to see that something like this works actually, not only in theory, but actually in practice. So through COVID, we never had any disruption in our network because we were always able to shift to other regions.
We clearly see that the localization is a key. We have heavy footprint in US, we have a heavy footprint in Europe, not just starting now. We have a fab in Ireland. We have kind of design footprints in Asia. And so we have to strengthen these things very, very clearly. The learning is really that you need to work more with your suppliers. The current industry is very well built in the direction that you care about your customers and you assume kind of a just on time, so that basically your goods, which you kind of need, are just automatically coming in and your supplier takes care of. And I think this has significantly changed.
So we're talking really about hundreds of stock keeping units that should be prioritized to keep the lead times actually, in a certain amount. We're talking about a different type of supply chain risks, to be taken into account for this production of ventilators. And we were also talking about allocation of different SKUs actually around the globe for the most optimal delivery, right? And at the end, with the help of AI, with the help of enterprise approach, we were able to deliver something productively working in 4 weeks, right? So it could, and I hope really, it could really save some lives actually, and provide this healthcare technological company actually with the proper solution at the end.
So we see supply chain changing, manufacturing specs, drawings, sourcing from different places, immediately trying to address almost, you want to call it humanitarian challenges, and then thinking ahead, how can we make this a maybe more robust or a robust modus operandi for the future to avoid some of these things.
You know, it really opened our eyes to the idea that the diversification of the supply chain is a criticality. Given the fact we're based in the United States, I think a lot of people on this call that are listening and know there's not a lot of heavy manufacturing, if any at all, for microchips in the United States. So that's something that has caused its own shift through our government to rethink, you know, who's there and who's participating. And obviously one of the colleagues' logos on the screen is participating. But there are a number of companies that are trying to change that geographic supply chain. So that's probably the first, I would say, big piece. The second piece for us was rethinking our global partners from an employee and resource standpoint. What I mean by that is that we've recently brought on different ecosystem partners that are part of our software development in different regions of the world to give us some additional flexibilities. You know, that disruption at the immediate onset of COVID, it was that work from home, hands off, but there were a lot of other regions of the world that were still trying to stay engaged and support their own economies and their own incomes. And as a result of that, we've identified some pretty strong new partners.
So we are forced to use artificial intelligence and other tools in order to make sense of the data and to handle the possible. And therefore, I think more and more of customers will move to some providers that can help them with building networks that utilizes other manufacturing capacities and make sure that they increase the resilience without increasing the cost dramatically. And I think this is really the key.
The key innovations which you're needing is, first of all, IP protection. When you do things in different center of competencies, you have to find a way to pass IP within kind of given constraints.
This is a huge change in their minds, especially in terms of the planning, right? So they need to address bigger, much more global, let's say, planning issues within their organizations.